used their freedom to provide comfort and security, and so came to advance the well-being of all mankind. The purpose of this book is to depict some of the principal creators of those innovations. There weren't many of them in the early days when the destiny of the new republic was in balance, but there were new generations of innovators among the thousands, then millions of newcomers. It is obvious enough that the energies of the new masses cleared the wilderness, planted the corn, laid the railways, reaped the wheat, spun the cotton, erected the cities, dug the canals, forged the steel, built the bridges, set the factories humming. But they brought more than muscle. They had fled class-ridden conformity or outright tyranny, so they tended to be of an awkward, questioning disposition. And unnoticed among the millions of these ambitious, self-selected risk-takers from all parts of the world were individuals exceptionally willing to dare. Their gifts for innovation accelerated America's progress over 2 centuries. For the most part, they didn't come with any special secret, any patented invention, any great wealth or connections. When they disembarked, blinking in the bright light of the new world, they had no idea what their destinies would be. The magic was in the way they found fulfillment for themselves and others in the freedom and raw competitive excitements of the Republic. Innovation has turned out to be a distinguishing characteristic of the United States. It isn't simply invention, it is inventiveness put to use. This crucial difference between invention and innovation was borne in on me on my return to England in 1957. As a young science reporter, I visited the government-funded National Physical Laboratory at Teddington, and they showed me where their senior researcher, Robert Watson Watt, had in 1935 invented the radar system that was to help the Royal Air Force win the Battle of Britain. His former colleagues remarked with chagrin on how swiftly this British invention had been taken up and exploited in the United States after 1939, laying the foundation for America's great electronics industry. It was the same story with antibiotics, following Alexander Fleming's 1928 discovery of penicillin, with Maurice Wilkes's pioneering efforts in developing the first commercial application of the computer at the offices of Joe Lyons and Company in 1951, and with the jet engine. All these British inventions were superseded by the innovative energies of America. It's been said a scientist seeks understanding and an inventor a solution, to which we might add that an innovator seeks a universal application of the solution by whatever means. Thomas Edison is thought of as America's foremost inventor, with 1,093 patents in his name. But his most important work was translating the insight of invention into the practical reality of innovation through the long process of development and commercial introduction. A score of experimenters before Edison had worked on heating a filament to incandescence, and any one of them might well have succeeded. But Edison's transcendent innovation was to understand that the light bulb he invented would be a mere novelty unless he could find a way to integrate it into an economical and safe electrical system. The simple act of flicking a light switch in offices and homes depended on a complex of dynamos, cables, and numerous connections that all had to be devised, costed, and manufactured. Edison had also to fulfill the entrepreneurial role of raising the money, arranging the legal rights of way, and cultivating the market. Edison was a supreme innovator. Innovators are players on the stage of a perpetual revolution. Where it may go next is the subject of speculation about nanotechnology, biotechnology, artificial intelligence, and cheap renewable energy, all of which sounds exciting. But if the history of innovation teaches us anything, it is that the greatest innovations are unpredicted. Carol P. Haskins, the celebrated president of the Carnegie Foundation, reminded the country in a report to the president in 1965 that as late as 1929, it was still widely believed that the Milky Way constituted our entire universe. And I quote him, "Only within the last decade have we become fully aware that this galaxy of ours is in fact but one among millions, or perhaps billions, of such galaxies, stretching to distances of which the world of 1920 or even 1950 could have had little conception." Close quote. We are, in that respect, in the same position as the men and women who first set foot on the beach at Jamestown in 1607. Robert Fulton, born 1765, died 1815. Robert Fulton's passion was to blow up warships, but his enduring triumph was in the creation of the world's first successful steamboat services. When the frontiersman John Fitch, the first to operate a steamboat service, was experimenting with his primitive paddle boat on the Delaware in 1786, 20-year-old Robert Fulton